Invited to a dinner and need to bring something? Don't worry, I got you. Welcome back to the KGB. Well, it looks like we need a side dish. This is Cajun fried corn, and I gotta tell you, it's the one thing I make that always gets requested for dinners, especially around the holiday season. You can certainly make a healthier version of it, but you know, you're not gonna get that from me today. No, sir, no. Today I'm throwing the whole works at you. The full Monty, the whole enchilada. And I know it's not an enchilada, but well, you could put it in a net. Whatever, forget it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you pick up your KGB menus and look under sides, you are gonna find corn maque choux. All right, well, corn is the star of the show, so get yourself about 7 or 8 cups, and then grab yourself some hot links, some bacon, eggs, onions, peppers, garlic, butter, heavy cream, sugar, and some chicken stock. And when I use stock, I use this. It's 1 teaspoon per cup. You can make as much as you want at the strength you want, and it tastes pretty good too. I don't get paid for any of this. I just like the stuff. Guys, the hardest part about this is the prep work. So put in that time, chop up your onions and peppers, and oh, here's a little trick when you're chopping up your peppers. Slice off the end so it sits nice and flat on the board, and then run your knife along the outside. That way you're going to miss all the ribs, you're going to miss all the seeds, and then when you're done, look, you got this cute little thing that you can like throw away. Oh, if you want to speed up your garlic, get yourself one of these. Put on the top and take out that aggression on those cloves. Get yourself nice and relaxed for the rest of the cook. Next is a hot pan. Now, my hand has never lied to me about the heat of a pan, but if you don't trust yours, get yourself one of these. It'll let you know exactly where you are. I like to get the pan to about 400 degrees, and then we add some bacon. Why? Because it's bacon! That's right. Now, we're going to render the bacon fat, and before it gets too crispy, we're going to add in the chopped hot links. Stir those around, get some color on them as well. Now, after a few minutes, after they get nice and golden, we are going to take all that meat and remove it out of the pan, leaving the rendered fat behind. Now, at the KGB, we don't fear the word fat. Matter of fact, we're going to add to it with some butter. Why? Because it's butter! And now it is finally time to add the corn to the pan. Now, I'm using frozen, not fresh, which has a tendency to be not as sweet as advertised. So I'm going to toss it around in the pan, coat it with everything that was left behind, and then add a 1/4 cup of sugar. Oh, one day I may make a healthier version of this, but not today. And back to stirring the corn. Make sure that sugar is distributed all the way through the corn. Once it is, add a little dash of salt, a generous helping of pepper, and then keep scraping and moving and stir that all the way through. Now, it is time to start frying down the corn. After about 15 minutes, you're going to notice a caramel-like sticky substance that you're scraping up off the bottom. Yeah, that right there. Yeah, that. That is color and flavor, and that is what we want. It's also a signal that it's time to add the vegetables. So, pour your vegetables in, stir them through, and then, of course, add your garlic, stir that through, and now, since this is a Cajun dish, we need to add some spices. Let's talk seasonings and stuff for a bit. Look, I've been cooking for a lot of years, and I will tell you this. The one thing I have learned is that shortcuts do not make you any less of a cook. Simpler is better. Hey, look, I could sit here, I could tell you it's a 1/4 teaspoon of this and a 1/2 teaspoon of that and a shake of this, and I could tell you to go find 10, 12 different ingredients, or I could tell you to do what I did, which is go to the store and pick up a little canister of my favorite seasoning. Look, the fact of the matter is there are so many fantastic blends of seasoning out there now. You don't have to make yours from scratch. I mean, you absolutely can. And I still do on occasion. But for a dish like this, one-stop shop. So let's add a dash of Creole spice, not too much, we can make up for it later, and now we start to fry. The key to this whole thing is movement. Keep scraping the bottom, keep mixing, keep stirring, because we want everything to brown but not burn. So look, this is going to take a little bit. We're going to be at this about 20 to 30 minutes. So if you're low, go get yourself a refill. And hey, look at that. Through the magic of editing, we are now 25 minutes later. The corn has taken on this beautiful golden brown color, and we are scraping up all kinds of good stuff off the bottom of the pan. So look, we've just spent all of this time taking everything out of the corn. It's time to start putting something back in. So we are going to add 2 cups of the chicken stock and the meat mixture back into the pan and go right back to stirring and scraping and moving everything around. This is why I use a wide bottom pan for dishes like this, because more surface area means more contact with the food, which means it's all much easier to fry. Now what we're doing is we are letting the corn absorb the chicken stock, so we will keep checking, and once we get to this spot where we see there is no stock left, then it is finally time to add the heavy cream. Hallelujah. 1 3/4 cups cream go into the mixture. I know that sounds very specific. I will explain why in just a little bit. But anyway, in goes the cream. Of course, mix it around, make sure everything is evenly coated, and then we are going to bring it to a boil and let it reduce and thicken. Meanwhile, this is what we did with the other 1/4 cup of cream. We added 2 eggs, took ourselves a little whisk, whipped everything up until it was nice and smooth and creamy, and then we go back to the pan, and while stirring, we slowly drizzle it into the mixture. Once we've done that, and once we've stirred everything through nice and thoroughly, we are going to taste. Because how are you going to know what you're cooking unless you taste it? So, take a little taste with your spoon. If it needs seasoning, add it. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Give everything one last good mix, and then we are going to let this sit for 2 minutes. Okay, we're almost at the finish line. Just a quick story. I've been making this dish for decades now. But the very first time I tried to make it, it was a disaster. It was during a camping trip in Jasper, Alberta, Canada. And I don't know, the beers, the fire, whatever. The fact of the matter was, I could not get the pan hot enough, and I couldn't fry the corn. And I spent most of the night stirring it and just promising everybody it was just about ready. And I had a friend there who, when we get on the phone now, to this day, when the conversation ends, he'll ask me, "Is the corn ready?" Well, Tony, today, the corn is ready. So, once you're happy with the taste, you like how it looks, it's time to turn off the heat, sprinkle some green onions over the top, give it one last mix through, and then find yourself a nice serving bowl, a spoon, and my friends, it is showtime. And there we go, folks. It's another one for the menu. Look, if you like what you saw today, then, please like, please subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Just honestly, I hope you try it. Because I'm not kidding. This is the one thing I make that always gets asked for. So if you do try it, tell me about it below. Leave me a picture. Or you know what? You can leave a suggestion as to what you might think would be good for the menu. Either way, come back for happy hour. You know the KGB. We're open 24 hours a day. You know we'll feed you, and you know we'll always give you a little something to wash it down. See you at the next happy hour.